Oh, also I played the RE8 demo, and it's like 12 minutes long. So
Does
it's
it
like,
does it kick you out at a certain point in time, or does it let you finish and then say bye, no more?
no, you get 30 minutes to play it, and if you finish it, they go, hey, you have 18 minutes left to do more. You want to do
Okay.
it again?
Okay.
But you can only do that within an 8-hour period on Saturday.
They tell
Like
you when?
oh yeah, I like it might be the most negative experience I've ever had with a demo, because I did all my streams for the week, and I'm like, oh, I have to do the RE8 demo tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's literally the only time I can do it, because it
That
ran from
is
8 p.m. Eastern to like 4 in the morning.
I couldn't have I wouldn't have imagined there was a way to make it even worse than time limited anytime you want. And yeah, that that would be it.
And
Wow.
then
That's that's the
and you
single
can only
worst
play it for
demo.
a half hour. And the first demo was a little longer, so you took your time on the first demo, and then you ran out of time. So then you rush through this demo and finish it super fast because it's like half as long. And then they play the same trailer at the end of both, and then the online locks you out after the 30 minutes and go, wait till May 1st till you get the 60-minute demo, which is the same two demos together in one demo.
See, here's what probably annoys me the most about that is that means that there's enough time to in a lot of cases that's basically enough time to just do the intended route as laid out for you. It's almost as if you were like waiting in line at PAX and then you get your chance at the booth, you know.
Yeah.
And like at that point, if you're gonna do the exact same thing that the person in front of you and behind you did, just watch a video. What's the point?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Like, if you're just like, here you are, go along the fucking roller coaster ride that is locked in for you. It's like, just show me a video then of the first
It it
15
feels
minutes. Like, I
it
want
feels
to
like a scam.
sidetrack, explore, see what's up, do weird things. Or if you just wanted to just study Lady D's movements and see what she was,
No, don't do it.
you know, like how is her AI? How does she chase you? What's her behavior?
Well, she doesn't. She's not in it.
Oh, really? Oh, well, okay. All right, fine.
Uh, it's like, I don't know. It feels like a scam run by their marketing department to fucking get like engagement numbers up. Like it's absolutely sucks shit. Like the demos themselves, yeah, they're pretty cool. But everything about how to actually access them and play them, complete garbage.
Now, this is the third time they've
Especially
done it, right?
no, the second.
Hmm.
They've done every Capcom is so fucking frustrating. They've done every version of fucky demo shit. They've had demos that had an amount of plays on them, like Monster Hunter, where you could only play it 30 times, but 30 times is like 10 hours, right? They've had the 30-minute, so they had the one-shot demo for Resident Evil 2, where you had you only had one death in the demo that you could
That's what I
play.
remember.
They
And then
had demos
RE3.
that were timed. And now they have demos, and they've had like free weekend demos where you could play it between such and such a day. Like I think Lost Planet 2 had something like that. But now they have it's a timed, limited time. Fuck, it's a mess. It sucks.
Yeah, someone
And
just
like
called it a streamer trap, and it's
oh
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I can see that. Like people filing in for that half hour. Yeah, and that's all
Oh,
you get.
it pissed me off, dude. I try not to stream on Saturdays. I like to have the idea that I have Saturday and Sunday to myself. But it's like, well, the RE8 demos get huge numbers, so I'd have to be stupid to not stream it. When can I stream it? Oh, the earliest I can stream it is 8 p.m. Great. all right, let's do this. Oh, I did it in 17 minutes, and there's not even a new trailer. Okay, great. Like I feel manipulated.
Why even bother wiping the crust off your face for that? You know?
Kinda.
Yeah,
Why even bother
shit.
wiping my ass? Like it just, and it sucks because it's giving me this like negative feeling about RE8, which like just put the demo out like a regular fucking like, or don't.
Mm-hmm. How
Like
so?
I would legit have been happier with like a fucking 10-minute like little walkthrough video thing.
So we got an OG who's like, it's a free demo. How is that a scam? And it's like, well, in the exaggerated sense of the term, it's not, but it's just rather annoying that an established thing, which is, here's what a demo is, lets you try out a game that you're going to spend $60 on in a couple weeks. It's like, at the very least, give the bare minimum instead of starting to do this weird strip down thing that creates like frustration with the limitations as opposed to excitement for what you're about to buy.
Also, I should. I don't know how many people are familiar with the phrase. I don't know if it's popular anymore, but there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Free demo isn't free for everyone. It's free for you and I, but it's not free for Capcom. And when I say it's a scam, I don't mean that we're being scammed. It feels like management of Capcom is being scammed by their advertising department so that their advertising department can take this demo money, put a demo out, and manipulate it so that they can go, look at all these plays on such and such, look at these views, by like limiting it to very, very specific time periods and situations.
Yeah, just at that point, just put out a video. Like, make it, put out the first 15, put out the first 20, whatever you want it to be. Give everyone the experience that is crafted and tailor-made for the stage, and then fucking just drop the game itself when the time comes. Like, don't even bother, putting it out.
This feels like this is completely invented by my own mind. This has no basis at all other than my own personal feelings. But this feels like Joe Marketman is laughing his ass off because he paid a YouTuber to sponsor a video about Lady D stepping on you, and that did big numbers for the game's marketing. And Paul Marketing sitting there looking at his demo that him and the guys have been working on, and they're like, we're never gonna beat the Lady D steppy shit. Fuck. How do we
Also, I feel as if it's worth pointing out too that when just hearing about this and thinking about if I were to even bother, like, what annoys me, like, sure, you can look at it and go like, oh, your opinion is based entirely on the fact that you would not be able to have a successful stream of this because it doesn't last long enough for that to work, and thus you're unable to monetize the thing and do the thing. But it's like, no, just as a regular player in my own time, that's a shitty thing. I want to be able to walk around corners and take my time checking out other shit and do things, and when I get my hands on any game at any place that.
How about this? If I wasn't doing this, I might be working a regular job where, I don't know, I might have to work Saturday night.
Perhaps.
Which meant I wouldn't be allowed to play it.
I have no interest in streaming this at all in any way, but I think that sounds like a shitty thing to hand out to people as far as getting a taste of this game goes. It's like, yeah.
Also, the demo ran from 8 p.m. Eastern to 3 a.m. Eastern, which means that if you were, say, I don't know, a pip cheerio boy, the demo ran from 1 a.m. to 9 in the morning. That's bullshit. That fucking sucks.
Well, yeah. I remember
Oh, it had different times for different countries? Oh, okay. Well, thank goodness. People in the UK have enough to worry about without getting screwed on the demo. They gotta live in the UK.
When the DMC5 demo came out, that was like only on Xbox One when I blew off the dust and whatever. It's like you crack that bitch on and go as hard as you can. You know?
Resident Evil 7 demo was like supported for months and had shit added to it, and it was a massive success.
See,
I played
that
the RE5 demo like 100 times.
7 needed to convince you guys and like the entire existing fan base that this was a good idea, right?
Yeah.
They had to upsell you on the idea of switching to a first-person game.
I will give the demo one prop, and that prop is that about halfway through the demo, you're crawling through a hole in the wall, and you hear Lady D moving around, and she's like grabbing like some groceries, and like she grabs her shit, and then like no matter how fast you go, you can't reach her before she leaves through a door. And I'm like, oh, they know what they're doing.
Okay.
Because you're crawling as fast as you can to get to Big Steppy, but out she goes, never to be seen in the demo again.
Until the data miners get a crack at it. Well, anyway. Cool. Lame. But beyond that, was it a cool half hour? You know?
Yeah,
like,
cool.
It was. All right. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. There you go.
The
you know.
PS5 adaptive trigger thing is terrible. Turn it off. It's bad. It does that thing where they're like, we're using the adaptive triggers to make it feel like you're really pulling the trigger of a gun. And what that means is that it makes it like require 10 times the amount of trigger pull to shoot the gun, which sucks.
So, I generally enjoy how it can increase tension on things like a bow pull, for example, in Demon Souls, right? But there is a weird thing that happens when in Demon Souls specifically, that adaptive trigger function was set to on release you fire and then you go to pull it again, but there's a lock on it. Like it's you can't go back to full depression right away. You have to like let the lock release, and then there's a little, you know. And I'm like, no, I want to just hold it so that I get the fastest possible time between this press and the next one. And that was annoying. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That specific thing was annoying. So that's a feature of the adaptive triggers I don't want to see in any other games ever. I don't want to try to tap twice quickly and then the second time get stopped halfway going down. That feels bad.
So this is going to be one of those things where, and you know what, I'm going to sidetrack myself. I just saw somebody in the chat like, but that's how guns work. Like, I don't care. I'm playing a fucking video game. I want the controls to be responsive, not realistic. Like, everyone's personal mileage is going to obviously vary dramatically here because we're talking about like literal physical tactile feedback. But my personal experience is that it just literally gets in the way. Like I go to pull the trigger and the resistance is such that it delays the shot by, you know, I don't know, a couple frames or whatever, because you have to pull it way harder than the almost nothing you would have to otherwise.
Okay.
I switched to the PS4 and PS5 controllers on FF14 for quite a long time before switching back to the Elite controller because I was having some hand issues. I was getting some RSI, and the trigger pull on the PS5 is actually really light, which I appreciate. And then making it so that it is like GameCube-ish level of push the trigger down. You know that last bit on the GameCube for RE4 Like, no, I don't want that. I want the controls to disappear in my hands and maybe provide some tactile feedback.
Not to mention that
Like
anytime you feel like you have to put force into something, like you don't
yeah,
want to feel like you can break it, you know?
there is enough resistance on the RE8 trigger pull that I go to pull it, and the regular force that I use on my hands, it makes it so that the controls stop, and then I go, oh, I have to pull it further to shoot. And you can turn it off, which I recommend doing that. I assume the people who don't have an issue with this are the people who pull their triggers much more strongly in general, so it doesn't make that big of a difference. But like, nah, no thanks. Like when you get around to it, or the next demo comes out that you can play on, like for my purposes, or for comparison's sake, load it up and like fire the pistol once. And like, I'd love to get your opinion on it.
Because I like the idea that guns can feel different on the controller.
Yeah.
That sounds cool, but yeah, it's like when it comes down to the most important thing, which is just how fast you can pull the trigger and whatnot. It's like don't put physical resistance there. That shouldn't be the case.
Like, one of the things that I forgot what I was going to say is the thing I was just going to say, and then I forgot.
Well, I was going to say that the Switch has a good nice. You saved it by not saving it. The Switch and the 3D Rumble, or whatever the fuck they were coining that term as, like, that's something that is like, yeah, let's go in that direction. Let's go in the direction where, you know, you cast a spell and you feel it rumble and shoot out through the top of the controller, and you feel this kind of like intelligent feedback that's more like localized to specific, you know, types of shakes and vibrations and whatnot. But don't get into this like game of we've changed the button sensitivity for this moment or for this thing, or like I don't want to get into that, or into like we've changed the tightness of this thumbstick. Could you imagine? You know, it's like, oh, you're in the mud now. Your thumbstick is really stiff. Like, so fuck off.
Yeah, I actually had two more things to say that I remembered. One is that Fortnite has the adaptive trigger thing, and I had to turn them off immediately because they made me worse at shooting. Like, they made the controls less responsive because it took longer to pull the trigger. And the other is that it's like one of the things that I guess like I'm tacitly disagreeing with a bunch of people is like how they personally handle the controller. Paige played Bayonetta, and she played Bloodborne. And fighting Ludwig, and also after doing a session of Bayonetta, she had the situation where she was just fucking white-knuckling the controller so bad that she couldn't play anything for like a week afterwards. And after seeing that shit, I've been like more cognizant of like, don't grip your shit, you know, like try and do everything as softly as possible, because I'm playing games all the time. Like, I don't want to fuck my hands up, right? And so this adaptive trigger shit, just like, the Demon Souls one is great because it doesn't stop you, it just gives you a feeling like but
the bow does put a blocker up for a second though. If you try to quick fire the bow, it does actually restrict you.
But it's not like, how do I put this? It feels like it's the minimum you could get away with to cause that feeling, right? The RE8 one, I really would like other people to chime in and for you to test it yourself. It feels like they're using the feature to the absolute maximum.
Okay.
And it feels bad.
So I talked about it a bit before, but like when I was like realizing how many movements were required to get in there with Nago Ryuki, and when Strive was out, I got my glove going, right? Like, I legitimately got a glove where I've isolated the thumb to be able to, you know, like, it's like, because I was playing it super nonstop that weekend, and my thumb was hitting that point where I'm like, ooh, I don't like that feeling. God, let's get that and let's make that go away. But also, there's only 1 day left, so so then the fucking glove comes out to protect against long-term pain.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did you played Devil May Cry 5 on the Xbox, right?
Yeah,
The SE, I mean.
yeah. I
Did
switched
you
over
play
to
it
the
on
to the
PS5?
PS5 eventually. Yeah, I played both. Yeah.
Do you use the adaptive trigger for Exceed?
Uh, I only played Virgil.
Uh, you know
I
what?
didn't even pick
You don't
like
you don't need the Resident Evil 8 demo. Go
Okay.
load up Nero and Exceed with the adaptive trigger thing on, and tell me how
Okay.
that feels.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to say anything. I don't even want to, praise it or hate on it. I'm just genuinely curious as to how you feel about it.
Okay. I mean, I can psychically project myself into the future and come back right now and tell you I hate it.
Okay, guess it sucks.
Like
It sucks ass.
the timing on that feature is frame perfect. I need
No, it's not.
But,
Because
like-
it stopped you.
no, but I mean, like there needs to be absolutely zero hindrance between my brain thinking Exceed right now and it happening.
No, it feels like a motorcycle. It's hard.
It's a frame
Really,
perfect feature.
Please, Wooly, please, please. You know what? I have to. You know what? I have to use the restroom. I'll be back in a few minutes. It would be great if you could come back with the opinion on that.
It would take too long. It would take too long.
Ah, darn. Okay, well,
All right.
next week then. I'd appreciate
All right.
it. But I really have to use the washroom. I'm gonna piss myself.
BRB. Yo, that sucks. Yo, that feels really
so
bad. I
glad-
hate it.
I'm so
That's not
glad
good.
that is the that you could weigh in on this fucking hot topic, because it blows.
I don't want to feel anything. I don't want to feel anything when I exceed. Don't do that.
And it's so strong too. Like it's really heavy.
Now, yes, you can turn it off. It's in the options called trigger effect. And
You
thank
should.
God. But boo at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the restriction. It's just the vibration of the trigger as it's rumbling to like be like a motorcycle revving. Yeah, like, no, please.
Well,
It's there. It's there because like if you're doing the hold revs, then it's like, again, it's emulating the motorcycle like turn or whatever. But if you're trying to max act, you're just getting like a shit feeling when you do it. So
I tried it for a bit, and it's like all of my ability to max act just went right out the window. Just couldn't do it anymore.
again, like the fact that my fingers and hands are even involved in the input process is already a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just hit the Ethernet port in the back of the skull.
You can reduce all the lag that way. Let's just get right to it. Inputs.